Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I will be showing you how to build a 40-gallon breeder stand from 2x4s. Right off the bat, I wanted to show you what you'll be using for this build. First, you'll need 3-inch screws, a power drill with a drill bit if you want to pre-drill your holes. I'll primarily be using the impact drill for this build. A level might be useful. Measuring tape will definitely be needed. You'll need the miter saw to create nice even cuts. And lastly, of course, you'll need the wood. I'll have all the measurements needed for this build in the description below. I'll probably only show you how I measured one 2x4, otherwise I'll assume you'll be able to do this on your own. First, take your measuring tape, extend it out to the end of the 2x4, and measure it to the desired length and make a mark where you want to cut it. The length of the stand will be 36¼ inches. You could probably make it a little bit bigger, maybe a 36½ will work for you, but for this video, we'll be doing 36¼ . Here's a quick cut with the miter saw. There's not much to it, just watch your fingers when you're using it. I usually just line up the original piece of wood with the next one I plan on using to try to get as close to the same size cuts as possible. You will want to cut 4 2x4s to 36¼ inches. This will run the length of the frame at the bottom and at the top of the stand. This will make more sense later on. Off screen, I cut 4 15½-inch pieces of 2x4 to prepare us for the width of the stand. For this step, all we're doing is checking to make sure the dimensions of the frame are correct. The length of the stand should be 36¼ inches. And the width of the stand should be 18½ inches. If these are your dimensions, you're ready for the next step. We'll start connecting the frame with those 3-inch screws I talked about earlier. I like to make my life a little bit easier by putting the screws in a little bit, and then once I line up the 2x4s, I'll drill them in the rest of the way. For this, I'm using the impact drill. You'll want to get all the pieces screwed in before moving on to the next steps. For now, only screw in the bottom of the frame. You'll want to hold off from creating the top of the frame until the end of this tutorial. Things don't always line up perfectly at the end, especially when you buy 2x4s from a general hardware store, so it'll be easier to adjust and make corrections if you save that till the last part. We're going to build a support on the interior of the frame. Right now I'm showing you the 4 corners you'll be putting 2x4s in, and I'll screw these in from the inside. Also, just a note, you will need 4 30-inch 2x4s for this step. For the next step, we are going to put another 2x4 outside of that first support. This new 2x4 will be running flush with the first support. We will also put another 2x4 on the side as shown in the video. We will need 8 26-inch 2x4s. Here's what it will look like once everything is screwed in on one of the supports. As you can see, there's 2 screws at the bottom and 2 screws at the top, and there should be enough space to put a 2x4 above. This is what it looks like when this is all said and done. Once you get to this point, you're ready to move on to putting the top frame on to the stand. For this step, we'll be using the 36¼ 2x4s we cut earlier and the 15½-inch 2x4s we cut earlier as well. Just like we did at the bottom, you'll put the longer part there like shown in the video, and the shorter 2x4 along the width of the stand. It'll likely not be perfect. You'll probably have to angle the 2x4 supports just a little bit to make sure everything's evened up. A lot of fish keepers will put a higher quality plywood piece on top of their stand, as well as put a thin mat, like a yoga mat or something like that, under the aquarium, just to make sure everything is nice and flat and even. I hope this tutorial helped. Hopefully it gives you an idea how simple it is to build an aquarium stand. If you have any questions or comments, please comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe the video. Thanks for stopping by.